helped anyone, I'm not clear.
Okay. So are you afraid?
No, not afraid. And I know that what we do need to do is this should focus us more on what we need to do personally and
I'm
and,
I,
and with our community.
I'm certain Proper has a perspective.
That's his name. What's up, proper? Happy
I,
2025.
I
What's up?
mean,
What's up?
I don't, you know,
That's his
I'll be
name.
honest with you. I don't really, I haven't delved in this stuff deep enough to really have an opinion. And I could come across as, I don't want to come across as cold, right? Um, because I do, it's naturally my mind is like we need to build for our own, but I also don't want to come across as non-empathetic to people who this is going to
Yes.
impact. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Because some people are going to
So
lose their positionings and stuff. You're right.
like part of me though is a little like, okay, it's going to lead us to building some things, and
Hopefully.
when the fire hits the pot, no, we will. We're resilient people,
That's true.
so I don't think there's a people who has proven that they will build if when they have to any more than us. So
Mm,
so
that's
I
true.
mean, so proper, go ahead, break this down. Proper, break the perspective.
Break
I really, cause I mean,
proper
I
perspective.
haven't been paying attention to this stuff, but I know you was, you in these internet streets looking at all
Yeah,
these
he's a
things. Break it
political guy.
down.
Break it down,
I
prop.
okay. Hold on. I mean, I hope y'all can hear me.
We can.
I'm catching up. I'm trying to catch up because I was doing a couple of things and like I was listening to y'all and talking on the phone and doing some other things. So what's the
Well,
question that's
dog, catch him up. Catch him up,
I
dog.
mean,
Bring him up.
the DEI, the misleadership, the Snoop Dogg, the little thug, the little homeboy around the corner, little Slim over there, and
You
the
stupid.
DEI hire,
uh,
whatever they got rid of all these things. I have not had a chance to really look at these things, but as I was saying, it is I can come across as a bit cold because I really think that we do need to do for ourselves, but
mm,
nonetheless, I have not studied enough to really have a informed opinion. I want to hear somebody who I know probably has looked at this stuff and thought about it, and at least, yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, I agree with you that we need to, do our own thing. But it's to some extent it's like, I mean, everybody can't be, there's gonna be a certain number of us that can work in an entrepreneurial method and create our own streams of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And there are others of us who for whatever reason cannot do that. So everybody can't be the entrepreneur. There's always going to be people that do need to work for the enemy, the government, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I've always aspired to work like in an entrepreneurial manner, but I've always
Mm-hmm.
been in a situation where I've always had to work for somebody. I went into
Mm-hmm.
education. So I've always worked for the system. I've always worked for the man or whatever else we call Uncle Sam. So when you're in that world, there
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to be certain protections
Mm-hmm.
that come with those jobs. If
Mm-hmm.
you are a teacher, unless you personally desire to
Mm-hmm.
work outside of the regular school calendar, you're pretty much guaranteed your summers off. You know that. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to come in and say, I'm going to be a disruptor and I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and I'm going to have y'all teachers working all year round, hold up, wait a minute. This ain't, wait a minute. This ain't what I signed up for. This ain't what I've been working for. I've been
Mm-hmm.
here for 10 years. Hold on. No. What
Mm-hmm.
do you mean? Now we got other departments and agencies that would be set up. You might have a
Mm-hmm.
union that says, you can't make these changes. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
can't make those changes because y'all got a union. Well, I'm going to outlaw unions. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's the type of situation that like what Trump is doing with DEI. There are departments inside companies that have been set up to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that everybody gets a fair shake. I know people that have worked in human resources.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I studied human resources.
Okay.
I took courses in human resources. I sat in classrooms where I'm the only person in the classroom who's coming into this program from the perspective of a worker, an employee. Everybody else is in this program from the perspective of being a manager, a human resources manager. So they're all in these courses,
Mhm.
like, and they're approaching everything like my job is to protect the company. I'm walking into the thing like my job is to protect the worker. And so
Mhm.
we end up with this, even in the class itself, there's this great divide, and there's this
Mhm. Mhm.
negative tension in dialogue. And
Mhm.
it's blowing my mind when I'm learning, like even in human resources, like the instructors will tell you, the course books will tell you, here's how you can break the law without breaking the law. Here's how you can fire people without getting in trouble. If you do it this way, then you're gonna get an EEO lawsuit. But don't say these words
Mhm.
and they can't come after you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you have somebody like Trump that's like, oh, well, so why can't we say these words? Oh, because there's something written in this particular law that says if you say this word, you get in trouble. Well, can we get rid of the law? Only if you sign an executive order.
Is
Bye.
there an example of that right now?
Um, I would say, like, I haven't delved that deeply into his latest ones because he just did it the other day. But
Okay.
I do know, for instance, I remember another old school case
Mhm.
where I think it used to be called set asides. It used to be
Mhm.
called set asides,
Mhm.
where the government was told you have to set aside a certain number of positions,
Mhm.
whether it's you're giving it out in contracts or just basic employee slots or what have you.
Mhm.
And people went to court, white people went to court and wanted to challenge it, and they said, well, if you got 100 slots,
Mhm.
and normally we looked at the history of it, and all 100 slots always get filled with white guys.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, something don't look right. There's something, this don't sound right. It don't feel right. So
Mhm.
then we create this legislation, set asides, affirmative action, and all this other, all these other buzzwords.
Mhm.
The DEI is all the same. It's like the same structure. It's reprogrammed because every time we set something up, they challenge it until they can strike it down.
Ah.
So it's
Okay.
like,
Okay.
okay, just like with abortion, they won the abortion case. And from the moment that abortion case was won, they began challenging it. It took them 30 years, but they
Mhm.
challenged it in every manner possible so that
Mhm.
they could finally break it down. And
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
do the same thing. So then it had set asides, and it's like, well, now we get this set aside rule. Out of the 100 slots, 10 of those got to go to a non-white. And then so then they start doing that, and they'll give 10 jobs to a black person, or 5 jobs to a black, and 4 jobs to a woman, and one extra job to an Asian, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And the white folk get mad. I'm being discriminated against. And they go back to court, and they figure out a way. Oh, set asides is illegal. Well, then it goes back to now you get to hire 100 white guys again, until we come up with another legal framework to reposition that entire program.
Mhm.
And then it starts all over again until some white guy decides I'm going to sue. And
Mhm.
they do it in employment, they do it in education. So now I can't personally tell you like the dead exact specifics because I haven't been looking at it that long. But I do
Okay.
know this is a common thing, that every time there is something that gets set up that's supposed to create a sense of quote unquote fairness, all the
Mhm.
white people get their panties in a bunch, and then they go
Mhm.
to work and they figure out how to challenge it, and they just break it down one piece at a time until they
Mm.
get their final gusto. And Trump
Mhm.
is the final gusto right now.
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
mean, I'll say that as far as like, like I said, like I know people that have
That's a
gotten
great
jobs
take.
in the DEI
Mm.
department in like where I worked. Yeah, their job is on the line.
Mm.
Just to be the person. I knew somebody that was working in the EEO office, And so now it's like, oh well, there is no more equal employment opportunity. So bye.
Mm. Wow.
You're
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So I mean, when I listen to this, it goes back to what I'm kind of. I thank you for that. And I
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to really digest it either, right?
Mhm.
But part so that's why I shared, because part of me, I know I have the inclination to say, uh, you know, we have to build our own,
Mhm.
and I still think and I'm not even coming from the standpoint that we have to build our own, right?
Mhm.
And there be let's say everybody becomes entrepreneurs. I am
Mhm.
suggesting that we support the entrepreneurs or the institutions that we currently have a little bit more. I know
Mm-hmm.
100%.
you know what I mean? Or I mean, I'm also saying that we should probably also support even, unionizing more. I'm not saying one way. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to be like, we don't even want to unionize. I think we have to be able to become. We have to take risks, and
Yeah.
lots of times we don't want to unionize even because
Mhm.
we are afraid,
This
and
is
then
true.
because we are afraid and we don't want any type of friction, you don't
Mhm.
protect yourself.
Right.
And so
Mm.
again, we have to, from my standpoint, we have to feel this.
Right.
We have to have Trump in here shaking some shit up to wake you up. Excuse my language, y'all.
Mhm.
Because
I agree.
we've been asleep too long.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
we
this.
and we think there's power in those people who may come next 4 years or maybe the next 8 years from now. And we
Yeah.
think that they're doing something for us. I
Yeah.
Mhm.
My argument is that all the things that we feel is a direct response to the lack of response or response that we've had before.
Mhm.
Mm.
So
I
we
agree.
so here we have a Trump. Here we have all these things. We've been too comfortable.
I
Well, Don,
agree.
when he was first president, I said that he was important because he's showing the how malicious these white in real time how they can be, and he didn't have a filter, so the
Mhm.
world was able to see, how this white male who have been all the presidents and how, without the guards up that they come in and the smoothing just straight. I don't like you,
Mhm.
or I'm going to take from you, or I'm going to get rich. My kid's going to get rich. He showed you in real. So I think the world needed to see that, and we needed to see that too. And then we went through a disaster like COVID that I think we
Mhm.
just forgot. We forgot that he killed people.
Yeah.
So we need him again to shake you up again because maybe you need to get it. Like get you
Yeah.
the way for some type of what we would say this American dream ain't through the movie that we've been shown. We got
No,
to create that dream. Go
I
ahead.
mean that's true. I think. I think for the most part, it's sad and it's unfortunate, but oppressed people need to see their oppressor
Ooh.
at all times.
In real time. Yeah, it can't hide. Right. Wow.
So and I say I try to say it that way because it's not necessarily only a black thing. Of course, it's a black thing for us in this country, but
Yes.
so in those terms, when we get to see the nice master,
Mm.
it makes it a little harder to run off the plantation. It's a lot
Mm.
easier to run off the plantation when you got the master that will crack your behind 45 times just for taking an apple.
Mm.
But when you got the master that will bring you a plate of food, all right, I'm gonna take a nap and I'm gonna get back into the fields.
Yeah,
And at
I'm
least for me, Biden was the nice master.
But he was a master, baby.
and he
He
told you
was
that.
a master.
He
Don't get
told you
that twisted.
I did more for
I
y'all
can
than
stand him. He's a
anybody.
master,
I
baby.
did more for y'all niggers more than
Please.
anybody.
The
Yeah,
worst
and
master
like
of
you can
all of
pull up
them.
any of the slave movies and find that same speech.
That was yes. I think he wrote that down. He plagiarized.
But I mean, but there is another perspective though, and I think that I get what my brother is saying. I don't know if I agree. I just thought that I would read it here. My brother Donald was on yesterday. He says what Trump is fighting.
Want me
It
to
is
put it up?
oh yeah, you put it up. Yeah, he said it is his personal fight. the funniest and most ironic aspect of his fight is that his fight is actually Black America's fight, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Black America's fight. See, he did say that Black America's fight, but we now don't understand it because what's the next one, Queen? For the last 60 years, our political and social understanding of the world affairs, whether local, national, international, has been skewed and purposely misdirected. Now, I think that this is what my brother David is.
I think it has a little merit when he
David
broke it down. You know,
David Johnson said.
yeah,
Now,
last night. Yeah.
Now, I tend to believe that they really believe that Trump is going to do more than. I mean, he's really more than what he really is. However, I can see how one could think that. But go ahead, brother. Perspective. I hear you. I see you responding. I see words coming off your eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? Go. Hold on, real quick, family. Can y'all see us? Can you see the genetics? Can y'all see the genetics? He my big cousin. Can y'all see that? We both handsome, right?
Oh my God.
You know, so go.
Jesus.
Look,
Look at him rubbing his chin like, yeah,
rubbing his chin. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right.
He's rubbing his chin like I'm handsome. Oh, y'all are killing me.
No, now I mean the comment that's a challenging comment. Like I agree with the idea that Trump is fighting his own personal fight. You know, I can see that.
Without a doubt.
I can see that. You know, he got his personal axe to grind with half of or with all of DC and he's working it. So yeah, I agree with that. I don't see that his fight is our fight. I can't necessarily come up with. I can maybe come up with one example, and I hope that's not the one of the examples that he might be referring to, because I don't think it is a fight that we should be involved in. But the only thing I can think of is because I see a lot of people talking about or siding with Republicans and siding with like what I would call the religious fanatics because they are anti LGBTQ.
You hear nothing but hold up, just stop. You ain't even gotta ask that question. That was the whole I didn't even look at the whole conversation, but suddenly that was the conversation.
Right.
And I was so surprised to see Queen on there. Because Queen is normally an advocate, but she did an excellent job. But hold up, Queen, you don't smooth Queen. You know, go.
Because you only said that exact thing, but once he kind of laid it out, I was like, wow, it's a little sensical, but it's still Trump is still an agent and a problem.
No,
but he's saying that his fight definitely we can use that fight.
But catch what I was saying though. Purely what brother Perspective was saying. Mm-hmm. Is exactly what it was, because the idea of the conversation was that the LGBTQ plus community is they have usurped, and to a great degree, I believe that. I know that's true. But what I am saying is though, I don't literally think. But Perspective, go ahead, proper. What I'm really saying is you're on the ballpark because also he's our dear brother is a Hebrew Israelite, so he has a strong religious underpinnings. Yes.
Okay. Well, now I'm like, okay, and maybe I'm understanding it from a way that I shouldn't be. Like, if you say that whole whatever word that gay or what that alternative lifestyle agenda, if you're saying that's Black America's fight, maybe I don't understand what you mean by that, because I'm like,
he wasn't saying that. He said no, he wasn't saying that.
Okay, because
no. What he's saying is not that the LGBT plus community is for us to fight for the LGBT plus community, but actually they are our enemy. That is essentially what he's saying.
Okay, so they are our enemy.
Yes.
Okay, now
you gotta understand the school. Irritated Genie, Daryl Muhammad, dear brother Daryl Muhammad, and he comes from the Steve Coakley mindset. You gotta understand the framing here. You understand the boule, the small hats, all these type of terms.
Yeah, and every time I run into those brothers, I tend to take a walk. I don't think that is. I understand that there is a lot of people, a lot of talk in our community about that being a major roadblock, an obstacle, a fight that is something that we are up against, so to speak. And I'm just like, I've never been convinced that that is truly our enemy. I don't
That
necessarily.
what is truly our enemy? That the boule or
Well, the LGBTQ,
all the letters, the alphabet.
the
Yes.
letters, yeah, the alphabet soup. Like it's hard for me to see. It's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say. You know, we got damn near Klansmen in office writing legislation to render significant numbers of our community unemployed. But our biggest problem is a gay man and a lesbian woman. No.
Or transgender.
Or transgender.
Yeah.
I don't like the transgender thing. No, I don't think transgender men or whatever they want to call them should be fighting in women's sports. But is that at the top of my agenda? Is that in the top 10 of my agenda? I'm sorry, but I'm like, well, okay, no, it's just not. Like if, and I know a lot of us aren't, but if we're talking about reparations, gay people is not an obstacle to that. If we're talking about police brutality, gay people is not trampling on our rights. If we're talking about fixing the schools so our children can go to schools and receive an education and be taken care of in the school, I still don't see LGBTQ plus as the stumbling block.
Lost, but too proper. I think we get lost with the alphabets. But these are white men. They are, the alphabets are in power because white men are dominating that argument also. So what you see is white men on both edges. It's just white men who have a different sexuality than these heterosexual men. But it's still white men. It's still a white male agenda.
You know,
it's not out for their whiteness, because it's their whiteness
the alphabets aren't black people.
That's messing us up.
Yeah. You know, and to jump in there though, I'm gonna tell you where I agree with that, but I also diverge a bit. And where I diverge a bit is that we always say white men. Even the day I heard the sister, what's the sister everybody like? Her name is Kalonji. What's her name? The sister who reads people inside of the Senate. What's her name?
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett was on sister Queen had to adjust her seat when I said Jasmine Crockett name. She's like, okay, hold up there, hold up.
No, I said her name.
All hands off Crockett. All hands off Crockett. You know, but I mean, I think that she says I think she's a profound sister. But again, the part of the problem is, again, as I articulate all the time, is that we have to figure out what fight we're talking about. We talking about the greater fight for liberation, or we talking about our fight within the system to maintain it, or to maintain the some of the comforts we get out of it. And I think both fights are kind of important, right? But the reality is, I think that sometimes, like, some of us are talking about from a liberational stance, and so, I'm talking about disruptive system stance, and some of us are talking about, look, let's keep this thing going, which is more of a liberal stance, and I think both are fair. And one thing that Jasmine Crockett said earlier today, I heard her say, her response was, that if it was like, really, she was just saying white men. She was like, everybody else should be fighting white men. If you're not a white man, you should be fighting. And I think they are deluded by the white woman. Like, what like she birthed him, I always say. She benefits from him, I always say. Like because DEI is impacting everybody. Look, it doesn't matter if the same lady who marries the white man is going to get rid of DEI, because she's still going to benefit from it. It's not like, what I'm saying is, we keep letting white women off. And that is my major issue, because it's not only white men. White women run the academia. They run liberal arts. They run humanities. They run the social sciences, and the social sciences is what run this goddamn world. So now the social sciences, now these white men are mad at these white women who went too far, who went too far. I gotta agree with my man David Johnson to some degree. I don't agree with him on this extreme. I think he's a bit extreme. But what I'm saying is, to some degree, these white women have there's no boundaries. There's no limits to this. There's no the culture is no longer important. Standards and values and what is there's no such thing. There's no level of normality. And I guess I'm not saying people should describe or prescribe your normality like black people should. Normality should not be prescribed by white folk. Although Trump is trying to prescribe our normality now by saying this is going to be a merit-based system. And then my man said he ain't for equality, or people are saying they're not for equal. What's the word? What's the word, y'all? Diversity, equity. They're not for equity, but the equity and equality are two different things. I think we have to make that very clear. If you're not for equity, I don't understand why not. Now, I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't be for equity. Equity is fairness. It's fair.
It's fairness,
You can't be communal and not be for equity.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Perspective.
I don't think most people understand equity, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to some extent, they shouldn't understand it because, in the general course of things, it has not been talked about. Like, it's always been talked. Equality is what has been talked about. Now it may be that, like, even in the 60s and 70s, when we were talking about equality, we may have been describing equity. We may have been fighting for equity, but the word we used was equality. That was the buzzword. So I think that's a part of why a lot of people just don't necessarily perceive the actual difference and the real difference. To some extent, just like with racism, just like the word racism, a lot of people don't really perceive the difference between or understand the real definition of racism. Like, a lot of times, we get off by saying, this person is a racist and it's because they don't like me. And it's like, that's not really what racism is. Equity and equality are different, but most people don't, like, they've never heard. I remember going to a training and they were breaking down the difference between equality and equity. And I'm looking around the room in the training and everybody's jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
And this is adults in a professional work setting. Everybody has been schooled and educated and trained and this, that, and the other, and still nobody knows what equity is. So I'm like, well, yeah. Now once you get to the end of the training and the workshop, and everybody's like, okay, now I get it. But that's for the working professional. The common man, like, the term equity has just come around recently. Really since COVID, since George Floyd and COVID is when equity became a buzzword.
Okay, you mean it's a buzzword, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the general public lives off of buzzwords.
Right, and Kamala was actually, if no one understood equity before, you should have understood equity after Kamala, because she kept saying it over and over and over again. Although she might have fumbled a couple words and all these type of things, but let's go ahead and just break down equity, because I just was like, why is this? Like, I think what you're saying is equality. Trump would agree. The person that you're saying that you want to follow, Trump would agree with equality, because this is this merit-based system. Give everybody an equal chance to go out and get the money and serve and pull themselves up from their bootstraps and be meritocracy. How do you say the word? Citizens. But it says equity refers to fairness and justice in the way people are treated and resources are distributed, taking into account the different needs, barriers, and disadvantages of individuals or groups. Unlike equality, which focuses on providing some resources or opportunities to everyone, equity aims to level the playing field by addressing systemic imbalances and ensuring that everyone has what they, I guess, need or something like that. But nonetheless, what a need to achieve similar outcomes. That's what I was saying. So that is like fair. Like, if you like really a communal person, and you understand that your brother may not have the same skill as you, or your sister might not have the same skills as you, then basically you say, you know what, they have a skill, I have a skill, I might have this skill, but this skill is not more valuable, or even if let's say it is, but I'm still going to make sure that my brother and sister don't go without. You understand? But if you're down for equality, if you're just saying equality, that's saying, look, he ain't got no legs, he can't chop no wood, fend for himself, shit. Fend for himself. It's not my problem that he ain't got no legs. You understand? So go ahead and
So
turn
when
it
y'all
up.
says this, make a level playing field, that's equity, not
Yes.
particularly equality. Correct?
Yes.
Making no. Making it a level
Well,
playing field, it could be seen both ways a little.
Okay.
Just to be clear, is that Sister Ya, Dr. Ya?
I don't know. Y'all
Well,
Asante way Sai.
okay. Okay. Making it a level playing field can also be looked at as equality, but it's really
Mm.
the outcomes to make sure, like we can put a level playing field, and then we all be running. But I'm fat, so I might not be able to run and get the berries as fast as you, Queen. So you go get the berries, like Negro. I'm sorry, the playing field's level. So so you just need to run faster.
Well, D Cliff kind of broke it down. Equality means everyone gets shoes. Equity means everyone gets shoes that fit them. I don't know.
can I don't know if I can do this, but can I
I think D Cliff is somewhat right. Equality means everyone gets shoes. I don't think so. I don't think everyone gets shoes. They mean everybody gets the same chance to get some shoes. And if you
Yeah,
didn't get the money, if you didn't run fast enough to get the shoes, you
you won't
out.
get none.
you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that yeah, I agree with you with your assessment. Go ahead, proper.
Well, I was gonna see if I could I wanted to like try to
Share your
share
screen.
my screen so I can see there's a picture, there's an image that gets floated around a lot, a little, you know what I'm saying, when people discuss equality versus equity. And
Uh-huh.
I could try to describe it, but like if you actually saw it, it's like
Do you
Can you share
let's
your screen?
let me see,
You
let me
can
see.
you see present?
present.
But
Slides,
hey, cuz
video
Hit
you was
present at
files,
the bottom. You should be able to share your
share
screen.
screen.
he was looking real young until he had to read. He put his glasses on, and then he squinted his eyes with the glasses
What
on.
is wrong with
Like
you?
come on, cuz man, don't be look. You gotta represent for the Winklers, brother. I'm
Oh
sorry.
God!
Let me see that. So is it showing?
There you
I don't
go.
know if it's
I got
showing.
it. I got it.
Okay, you got it.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So this is like for me when when I saw like this type of image or graphic, I was like, okay, now you really working with something. You know, equality.
Mm.
You know, everybody gets the
Everybody has
same
a chance at the same level.
assistance, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you come to the game, and there are inherent differences in each person, equality doesn't do anything because
Preach,
this little short guy over
I
here
love
is
that. They
never
put it
gonna
up.
get a chance to
They
see
put
this
the
game.
midget. They gave the midget a little more. I love
preach, preach, Papa, preach.
it.
So right, so this nails it. Or at least it
That nails it.
crystallizes it, so people can say, well, wait a minute now. You know, once you put this together, then if you sit up there and you listen to these politicians and you listen to Trump and all these pundits and they're saying we want everything to be equal right on down the line, it's like, yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Because then now you can look at this and be like, okay, well, this tall guy over here probably represents the white male. You know, so yeah, of course you want everything to be equal. Because you know it ain't helping nobody but you.
I agree with everything besides you said probably. There was no reason to say probably.
Right. I will definitely take that out.
I mean, I know they made them brown or green. I don't know my colors that well. Whatever color that arm
Right.
is.
Yeah.
What color is that? Is that brown or green?
Yeah, they trying to make it all look like they brown skinned melanated type
See,
people.
all right, so we should, if we had to change the colors, we would have to say that's the white man for sure. Although he got a bald spot, he got a little, he got a little bald spot, but he's still old and got that old money. That's what that's representing.
Exactly.
That bald spot representing old money. My man right here in the middle, you can tell he got athletic calves. But the reality is he still ain't got the old money, so he trying to jump on something, give him a little boost up,
Uh-huh.
but but then the other brother,
What you gonna get a midget? What the midget got?
the dwarf. So
Long
He need
arms.
he need more. He need two of those boxes.
and if that's your family, and that's your community, you don't let
Mhm.
the dwarf suffer because and you don't make the dwarf, you have to consider the dwarf
Right.
Mhm.
because he or she brings her special uniqueness to the community. And from an African-centered, communal, collective this perspective,
Mhm.
everybody's valued.
Exactly.
In the
Exactly.
West, what we see on the left, this is what the West represents. In fact, I would even argue that we don't even have equality. We don't even have equality. Equality is a thing, but for
Mhm.
but for real, it ain't even no equality because you don't even have that stool.
Exactly.
So
Mm.
Yeah, I
to
would agree
fight
with
for
that.
so to fight for equality, even Trump saying this meritocracy or creating equal opportunity, that's letting you know that it's not equal already. But so we're
Mhm.
going to give equality, not equity. And I'm saying that equity is important.
Hmm.
Exactly. 100%. 100%.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
That's a
So
that's a great picture.
thank you,
I mean, that's a
appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah,
great example. In other words.
yeah. So look, I'm gonna try to get out here today.
Mhm.
So Queen, where are we going at though? Before we so because I
Well,
know
we
we have
talked
a
about
lot.
equity and equality, but
Mhm.
what about Black leadership? What should we expect, and what is what is going to be paraded in front of us? Because we see that everyone, people fold when the money comes into the door. So,
Mhm.
is this misleadership on every level? Because I don't think our rappers are leaders. We make them leaders,
Well,
but I don't think they're
no, they,
leaders.
they they made them leaders. We didn't make them leaders, and they understand
Mhm.
that everybody loves their entertainers, not just black people. I look. Let me back something up real quick. Let me. When I hear people say, I'm gonna be honest, it's a pet peeve of mine. When
Mhm.
you hear somebody say we the only people, no, they lying.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay. All right. I mean, if they don't know they lying, they're just misinformed. Okay. I
Mhm.
can't
Okay.
stand it. We're the only people. That's not going to help us move nowhere. We're not the only people that are celebrity bound. The whole damn white people, the Queen of England is a celebrity. She ain't no goddamn monarch. That's a celebrity. The
You
Pope
better
is a
know it.
celebrity. Is
Mhm.
there any biggest religious celebrity?
Mhm.
Is there anybody bigger than Britney Spears? Whenever white people are celebrity bound, that's why they always use. What's that lady who said vote for Kamala this year? The white girl from Pittsburgh. What's her name?
Vicksburg. Oh, you
The
mean
white. I don't. The white
Taylor
lady.
Swift?
Taylor Swifty. The Swifties. Why do you think they pull
Oh,
Swift out? Black people ain't the only people to follow celebrities. Are we out of our minds? I know we think that we're gonna scare straight. It don't work. And making people feel like they're dumb and the only stupid people in the world, that's not going to help uplift us. Or we the only ones. You's a goddamn lie. You's a lie.
Got fired up,
Either you a
baby.
lie or you misinformed. I'm sorry. Enough of it. Hold up, hold up. Crazy that principles based on empathy, community, and love. Look. I think I'll give him a shot. That's one of my students.
Okay,
He's a
Nate.
white boy.
He's a white boy.
Nate is my white revolutionary. You understand? Go ahead, Nate. Tell
Power
him.
to Nate. Welcome, Nate.
Look, when I was at Waynesburg, Nate was one of the few that gave me some stimulation up there. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Nate said crazy that principles based on empathy, community, and love are considered radical. That's this country, though, Nate.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's what this country is.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's like
Hold on, let me back that up real quick. Nate is not my student. That's a student still. He's my former student. Nate is a professional. He's a counselor, therapist. I think he's down in Florida doing good work. Nate, let the
Okay,
people know
Nate.
who you are. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
snowing in Florida. Okay, Nate. All right, go ahead, Proper.
oh well, I what is the question you asked? You asked something about what
Yeah,
can
I
we
said about
expect from
Black
our leaders?
leaders. Yeah.
Well, I think
Or
if
all these
we
leaders, because it really is not color right now.
Well,
we
I
have
think if we focus on the people who are actually in leadership positions,
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
like it's very easy for us to look at the entertainers as if they were leaders.
Okay.
We're accustomed to doing it, but the leaders are the mayor, the state representatives, the congressional Black Caucus, the people who have been elected into these positions to effect change in the legislation. Those are our leaders, whether we like them or not. Now, we know we are not going to have any impact on Trump and other Republican oriented, conservative oriented elected officials. But within our cities, our neighborhoods where there are Black people or whatever race that we voted for, and if we if you're in a strong Black populated area like Baltimore is, Richmond, you know, you can go down to that school board and scare the hell out of them.
Hmm.
Y'all gonna do something. Y'all better find the money to fix that classroom.
Yeah, that's like on a
Like
communal basis.
I don't know for y'all in Baltimore, but like Richmond City schools have been on the news
Mm.
because stuff is falling out the ceiling and critters are running across the floor.
Mm.
But we can't go look at we can't ask the rapper to fix that. We got to go to the school board to fix that. We got to go to the mayor to fix that. So if we readjust ourselves and begin to put pressure on the people who are in elected positions that can effect that change,
Mm-hmm.
then we can get a lot done.
Okay.
The problem with that though is that when you, I mean, I think that's important, right? On especially on local levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they have their own level of challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and paychecks sometimes, and funding, and things like that often also impact them.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful in the decisions they make, or they will not be in position. We have to
Mm.
that we have to also understand that leaders, quote unquote, politicians are also bought, paid for, and also they can be dismantled and forgotten about and put out of office if you talk about groups like APAC and all that type of thing, right? So
Uh-huh.
Right.
when you talk about the best of our, quote unquote, those of them who showed up in those ways, have been silenced, ousted, and discarded. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's
Mm.
impossible, because I agree. I definitely agree that there's some people here in Baltimore, and there's groups that I would say on the grassroots. These are organizations that we must support. You understand? Our own institutions that can put some fire behind people, kind of like, I'm going to say everybody from every type of sphere, but including, like, I'll give you a great organization in Baltimore that does a political spear like none other, will be Leaders of Beautiful Struggle, who put some level of fire or influence behind. They 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 struggle and challenge with our elected officials, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our
Right.
elected officials like to be celebrities too. Our elected officials ain't nothing but celebrities. They are, especially if they Black. I ain't seen one that wasn't yet. What I'm saying is they become a certain level of celebrity. What is D Cliff saying? You kind of throwing me off. What does it say
I'm
here?
sorry.
Even
Well, he
elected.
said it a lot. He's talking about even elected officials are
But
not
I mean,
truly
but I'm
leaders.
trying, I'm trying to see the man face I'm talking to, though, Sister
Oh,
Queen.
okay. Sorry.
I'm trying to see my. I'm messing with you. I'm messing. But look, but no, no, but no,
Sorry.
but yeah, we can put D Cliff up there. Let's see. Even elected officials are not truly leaders. I would agree. They are representatives, supervisors, lobbyists, and managers. A true leader is a person who inspires others to follow them. Y'all know Black people can't handle that follow word. People in elected positions. See, that's part of the issue right there. We need mental health treatment. And I'm telling you that Black people, not just Black people, but I'm talking about Black people today, we have, because what we've been through has us not being able to trust trustworthy leadership. We are more attracted to celebrities. By proxy,
Mm.
they become leaders because we
Mm-hmm.
model them and their lifestyles, and their lifestyles aren't even really true and real. So people in elected
Mm.
positions, Cliff says, are only leaders if they can do that. Otherwise, they are merely figureheads. And that is what I agree with that. And I'll go here to say that I agree with what Papa is saying. And I don't
Mm.
know, somebody gonna have to break down what our dear Baba elder ancestor
I
El.
just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and or over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
So I diverge a bit from what our dear ancestor is saying when he says show in the white community. Of course, I just want to keep that consistent with what I said earlier. But I do understand his sentiment. And his sentiment is, just because the celebrities have been weaponized against us and put in positions of leadership, it ain't no way you don't go. You can go inside of a local meeting here in Baltimore, and you can be a true scholar like myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, why y'all laughing?
You're right.
I'm messing with you.
You don't want no problem.
No,
You don't
no,
want no
no.
problem. You're
Like
right.
like proper and an advocate like Queen, right? And then they gonna go find this football player,
Mhm.
the church, to
Mhm.
be
Ray
in the church.
Lewis. They're
They
gonna
gonna
bring in
not,
Ray Lewis.
no, it ain't even Ray Lewis. I'm saying it's the one they could afford to get there. The one that's on the bench even. And
Mhm.
they oh, he's a football player. He went to City High School, or
Mhm.
it's called City College. And then now somehow he come in and he get 30 minutes of talking time, and they might
Mhm.
give you 5 minutes, and he ain't got no type of analysis.
Right. Right.
And then the people who are supposed to be the leaders are bowing down to these people. So even
Yeah.
if they aren't the leaders, the people that are the leaders are bowing down so they can get seats in the stadium, or they can get
True.
a ride in the car, or they can
Mhm.
get some of that Luchino, or they can go out on vacation. But I get
Th-
it. It's a very
Yeah.
complex situation.
This is true. This is all true. I mean, it's true. I mean, we have to figure out a way to decrease our infatuation with celebrity, or if not decrease the infatuation, then at least be mature enough, sober up enough to figure out more effective ways to utilize celebrity.
Yes.
Mm.
If like I like to think about the idea that like when during certain marches and King was thrown in jail, it was Harry Belafonte that showed up with money to bail him out.
Hmm.
you know so he because of his celebrity and because of his money, he was able to show up and make sure that the leader got out of jail, and without that money, King just would have been sitting behind bars. So
Yeah, a
to
lot of
me, like,
celebrities were
okay,
more active then. They were
yeah,
more active then. Yeah, in the
yeah,
struggle. Yeah, because they were still
yeah,
being
because
oppressed.
because
See,
the
now they
real
learned that
leaders
they
were
let the
there.
celebrities don't be oppressed, and so
Right,
now
because
they
the
don't.
real leaders were there. The real leaders
Yeah.
were recognizable and in charge of things. And so, like, yeah, like I like that video clip from Malcolm X, but the difference today is we don't have those leaders. All we have left are the entertainers.
No, I don't know.
Hmm.
I disagree with that. I,
Hmm.
I I disagree with that, because then I would say that you're not a leader, right? And that would
Mhm,
say that I'm not a leader, right? And that would
mhm.
say that I'm messing with this mic over here like I'm talking through it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm talking through my camera. I had technical difficulties, family, as I shared earlier. But no. We have leaders. The
Mhm.
fact is, our back then, those leaders, the system has changed. The
He said
Okay.
system
the
has a
entertainers are only
the,
lead. He was saying the
no.
entertainers.
I'm disagreeing with that. So
Oh, okay.
the system has changed
Mhm.
Okay.
to the degree that they know who to put on television or who not to put on television. There are plenty of black leaders in our communities, and I'm going
Mhm.
to stand and say I am one of them. One of them.
Okay.
One of the many. And I know there's many others out there. I can name some. What I'm saying is, if you're not on MSNBC, doesn't mean that leaders don't exist. If you're not on C-SPAN and CNBC,
Okay.
doesn't mean that leaders doesn't exist. There's plenty of people there. We ain't never had people stop standing up and fighting for us, but they have found creative ways to keep your ASS off the television. And they
Okay.
put
Gotcha.
other people on the television that
That's true.
don't mean us any good and doesn't mean us well. They put these celebrities out here and ask them, they put them out here and ask them what their thoughts are, as if they have a thought.
Well,
So
that's
let
true.
me ask you a
That's
question.
true.
Are there
I'm not saying no celebrities don't have a thought, because
what,
I'm not even sure if I agree totally with the Dick Gregory comment, but I do understand the sentiment. But go ahead.
Mhm.
what I think he was saying too was like the entertainers of before had more they were more pressed, and they had more, they were really into civil rights, like the Harry Belafontes
Mhm.
and the Sammy Davis Juniors at the beginning. They were there, they were Muhammad Ali. Our entertainers, they've been
Uh,
given
but that's
this
not.
wherewithal where they don't have any thought of what the whole community is doing. Once they get out, they never come back. Or
Yeah, I
do
agree with
they?
that. I agree
Okay.
with that, but I don't think that's what he was saying. But I do agree with what you're saying.
Were you
Right.
saying that? Probably
No,
that's what I thought you were saying.
no. You saying Proper said that?
I
Oh, you
thought
taking it
Papa
from
was
Proper.
saying that the same
Proper. Oh,
entertainers.
I was being gentle because you. I thought you was talking about El Haj. But no, Proper definitely didn't say that.
Yeah, I was saying Proper was saying that the entertainers that of before aren't the entertainers of now,
Well, no,
and that.
I wasn't directly saying it. I agree with you
Mhm.
that I, I I wasn't directly saying it, but I do agree with that because I do believe that the entertainers back then were definitely more quote unquote conscious and aware and
Yes,
involved to a
with the
greater
community
extent
more
than the entertainers
of now.
today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I would also say, you know, well, and then I agree, you know, because the leaders are there, but they're not being given the mic. Whereas in the 60s, they gave the mic to the leader and they would bring on the entertainer. And
Mhm.
nowadays, yeah, they're definitely
They
overlooking.
filtered out all of the folks who even have any relationship with the community, because there are
Yeah,
And,
rappers that can be
and,
positive, but you don't hear them.
and
Okay, I
right.
get
again,
what you're saying.
I'll keep my argument across the board. And I would say that still, I don't really agree with the argument holistically.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, I do agree with the idea, and I do agree with Al Haj, Malik Shabazz, and even the conversation that we're having here on a very surface level. And what Brother Cliff is saying on the surface level here, when he says
Mm-hmm.
Belafonte, Portier, and Gregory were much more politically astute and courageous than Snoop, Nelly.
That's
Well,
exactly what
I
I
agree.
said.
No, I agree with him totally on
I
that.
Yeah,
totally
But
that's
agree
a
but
with
but
hundred.
that.
but no,
Yeah.
That's a hundred.
but what you said was something a bit different, which I kind of diverge a bit from. And what
Mm-hmm.
because he put names here. He put names here, so I agree with that. But
Right.
I'm
I agree
not
with
saying
that.
that there aren't any celebrities or
Mm-hmm.
entertainers that are politically astute. Because one thing I will tell you is people who are politically astute, especially people like poets and songwriters and all these
Right.
people, they're really heavy in a lot of them are activists. In
Right.
fact,
Mm,
this is what inspires their poetry. You
Right.
hmm.
understand?
That's true.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I would even say that a lot of
That's
civil
true.
rights people, so what I'm saying is I think that I'm going to argue that these people still exist, but quite like the leaders that we're saying don't exist, these people too don't get that same airtime. Like for example,
Exactly.
I'm not saying I agree
Exactly.
with everything that these people do or say, but like
Mm-hmm.
Sister Moo Fresh from Baltimore, right? Serious
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
sister, right? But
Right.
she's very respected in the industry. Roots lover. They know she's a rock star. She's on Tiny Desk. People know her. But the reality is, because she's politically astute, she will
They
not
suppress
get
her.
the same. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Even
Yeah.
in hip hop communities, my dear cousin, right? Dang, I can't tell you his other name. I
You
just
mentioned
forgot.
Lupe. Like they got rid of
Like,
Lupe.
like,
I thought Lupe
but
had.
Lupe, but I'm still saying that even on a more grassroots level, that people are a
Like
little bit
KRS
more,
One.
even more. No. He's not. No, he's coming. He's like, I'll make you believe I'm commercial. If you ever listen to him, I'm sorry. I know y'all love him. I'm sorry, but
I
KRS One
love
be saying
KRS
some.
One now.
He be saying some of the
Progressive
crazy
Griff.
stuff.
That's my boy.
He
Progressive Griff.
you no, stop. But look, you never
No.
know what KRS One is going to say out his mouth. And you ever see him on political platforms? I haven't seen him in years, but he used to be on CNS. I mean, on MSN and all these right wing stations back in the day, and all this type of thing. But he said some crazy things. Even Common was saying some nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what happens is sometimes when people they become tired, like we all become tired. And we like, look, they just need to get something. They need to do something. They need to pull themselves up. And sometimes when you out in sweet honeyland, you forget what it is like to be near the people. But it look like Proper. I don't think I said what I was going to say, but I think Proper had something.
Oh no, I'm just reading. I was reading Dick Cliff's comment.
Jasiriak's former rapper and current founder of One Hood is an example of an entertainer who, Brother Cliff, come on up in here before we get up out there. Look, you gotta come on up here too. Come on, look, come on up. Look, all this writing and all this thing. You can put it back up, Queen. You can put it back up. Look.
Let me give him the link.
Look, I got Sister Queen. Like, look. I don't want to upset Brother Ausar up on here. Let me take it down fast. I'm just.
Yeah, I want no problem.
I promise you. I don't abuse her at home.
Shut up, Cliff. I put the you make me sick. I put
all right. Look, that was a joke, y'all. Queen and I don't live together. That was just.
I put the link in the for Cliff, but Nate gave us something too.
Oh Lord, wait, Nate, don't you beat up on white men. You have whiny white men like Joe Rogan crying about cancel culture while speaking to millions. But it has always been the voices of the oppressed and the revolutionaries that are suppressed. Did we let Nate get a pass today? No. Hey, Nate, no, Nate, we ain't giving you no pass. They said they ain't giving you a pass. Nate,
listen, Nate, we put the link in the chat. You and Cliff.
No,
Cliff, you want something to say? You ain't got to write. Hit the link and come on in here.
White men like Joe Rogan crying about cancel culture while speaking to millions. Yes,
but it's always
the voices of the oppressed and revolutionaries that are suppressed. You gotta agree with them though.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, you ain't gotta agree with them. I agree. Just saying, I agree with them. So, yeah, I think as a proper perspective just said, we definitely need like he's in here and he's still typing. Definitely need more grassroots activism coming to the forefront. Proper perspective said that, y'all. Anyway, look,
the same guy that's sitting here.
Yeah. Look, he just wanted his image to come up on the screen. You hear me?
Oh
look,
my God, you are crazy.
Put it back up there. Look, he wanted y'all to see his dashiki. He said he got multiple colors. You see the one I got on, and you see the one I got on that picture. I got all flavors. You see what I'm saying? I was just look. I got all.
I do rock them though. I do like the rock them.
All right, Queen. We're gonna close this one out, Queen. What you got for us, Mama?
I don't have anything. I just wanted us to. I think this has been a very spirited conversation. And we can go on and on. I think like you said, there are applicable leaders out here that can, that are not given a platform to speak or to lay their art out. So that is something that is intentional. What is being paraded in front of us is the plans, and so we can't get mad at folk who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The Snoopy and the Nellies and the Soldier Boys and the Rick Ross, it's their job. And so they're going to get the bag, and they don't care how they're going to go get it. But when they got something going on, you guys show up. And y'all love the Snoopies, and y'all love Rick Ross. Rick Ross, he had that big car show every year. Millions come out. So I mean, we argue now, but we still show up for them too. So the process is we really need to talk about these things. We need to change our mindset and change our behaviors because Trump is here, and he's going to change some things. So we need to change also. That's what I got.
What you got, Prop?
I say cancel Snoop Dogg,
Who?
Nelly, and Rick Ross and
Who?
Soldier Boy and whoever else went to party with Trump. I say cancel them all. I say you know, I don't pull no punches when it comes, especially for hip hop. For me, hip hop has always been. I've always been into hip hop from the conscious and political side, not the party side. So I don't have a lot of patience for. I'm all right with party hip hop, but party hip hop, if you're not gonna be responsible, then no, I don't have no patience for them. So
Mm.
I say dead all of them. And there's not a lot. It's like I get a little almost like tongue tied when it comes to Trump and all of his antics, because I'm like, look, white people and Hispanics put him in office.
Mhm.
I hope they all get what's coming to them. I've seen countless numbers of white people complaining, oh, I didn't know he was gonna do this. Well, you just stupid. I seen Hispanics talking about they didn't. I do yo tengo mis papeles, and you getting put on that boat right along with the ones that don't got no papeles. So
Was that
yeah, I
real?
want to sit back and laugh.
Well, hold on. Was that real? Was that real? I mean, did that
He
mean something? You
changed
just
his
said.
language. I love it.
What the heck? What the heck was? Hold on. You
He
bilingual?
said
I
papele.
mean, I
What?
know a
What?
little bit of Spanish,
Oh,
but I'm like,
I mean, I didn't did 4 years of, but what the heck that mean?
I got my papers.
Oh, okay.
But I,
Papele.
I mean, I know a little Spanish, but I've
Comprende,
heard that
comprende.
phrase. I've heard that phrase so often, even if I didn't know Spanish, I would have picked that up because
Yeah.
it's their justification for voting for him,
Oh,
in
okay.
spite of the fact
But
that,
but
black
but
people was telling them they coming for y'all too.
yeah, let me.
And so, okay, you
Mm.
can hold your papers up and they gonna put the cuffs on the other hand and throw you on the bus and send
Yeah.
you on back across the border.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
Man,
I'm
man,
here to
why?
sit
Why?
my
Hold
case.
on, hold on. Why y'all putting all this on our Mexican brothers and sisters? Do you have Mexican numbers or do you have Latino numbers?
I have the Latino X vote, the way it was broken down when I was looking into the after hours reports on who voted for whom. Now, to my knowledge, they don't necessarily
So why
break it.
we don't
They don't
know
break
if the Mexican
Mexican
we
from
don't know what
Latino.
we don't
They
know
don't
no,
break it down.
that's
They
but
ain't
No.
gonna, but
but
no,
don't
they
but
not
don't get
asking questions.
but
They
don't
not
get
asking
that's
questions.
what I'm saying. Don't get confused and become like because the reality is Latino is a category that lumps all types of ethnicities and racial classifications together to cause confusion. So what just
Okay,
because of the language. So what I'm saying is don't I would suggest if we don't have the numbers about Mexicans or Puerto Rico, different ones, it's difficult to kind of because to kind of to parse that out. But I do get the idea though.
how I'm
I think they
I'm
all
not
voted for
I'm
him.
not parsing it. I'm not. I mean,
So,
maybe I should, but I'm not.
you should parse it out because there's black Latinos too.
Yeah, and I've seen videos with black
Hey Queen, what,
Latinos
hey Queen,
saying
what you and
that
you
they were
saw
voting for
black
Trump.
you saw black Americans too,
Yeah, and the
and
numbers
you saw
said
and you
that no more than 20% of the black community, and most of
but
that
the
was the black men.
all right. So see, I can see that you are human. You have a degree in humanities. And so you over there you supposed to be like a hard science person.
You make me
So
sick. And you a trip.
I so it's showing up right now. But what I'm saying is, y'all not data driven or statistically nuanced right now.
Okay,
I
I'm
do
not.
but
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not.
So what I'm
Well,
saying is
20% of the blacks, yes, but they were mostly black men. I
no,
mean,
but
that's
we
the
have
breakdown.
but you gotta understand the way that they even play tricks on us. Because
Okay.
like they play tricks on us. Now we talking about you can almost call everybody you can even call Haitians Latino to some degree. Like what I'm saying is there's a debate. You gotta really understand what you're looking at here.
Okay. I mean, I'm
But if you
open
do
for
that,
I'm
dog, does
open
that
for new
still
understanding.
negate
Okay,
the
people from
breakdown? Does
Brazil.
it still
Yes,
negate the
you
breakdown?
because it's not clear exactly what groups did what. Are you talking about Cubans? Are you talking about white Cubans? Are you talking about Latinos who identify as black, white, or other? So
But
what
it
I'm saying
still
is,
was
I
a
get
large percentage of whoever it was.
right, but what you got to also understand is 50% of Latinos identify as white.
Okay.
What?
They
But
are
now
white
you're
to
throwing
me.
but they're not being counted in the number of, like, when they do that breakdown and they say 55% of white people voted for Trump.
Yeah.
They know that that's 55% of straight WASP white people. Ain't no Cubans being counted.
No,
in that.
I know, but it's not as clean when you look at this category called Latino. You don't know what you're looking at. You just hearing Latino. You don't know which Latinos. That's such a broad category.
But what I'm saying, even if we knew, there's still a large percentage of them who voted.
You have to know. You have to know who it is.
I don't know about that. I don't know about.
I don't know about that. They all
you telling me the Dominicans
you don't
that
know
deny their blackness?
Please, ain't no Dominicans say they black. Not one. Even the black women.
I'm saying you telling me that the Dominicans that deny their blackness.
What about the Brazilians who do?
The Brazilians
they're Latino.
Okay, they still voted for Trump.
What about the people from Panama?
I don't care if they're from Guatemala. I don't care if they're from
okay, all right.
South America.
I understand the conversation. You're not understanding the conversation. I get it.
I understand.
No. I'm gonna have to give you a class, because you're not
understand. I understand the question that you're asking.
It is a class because the way you answer is obviously. Look, you failed.
No matter
the class,
what, they still voted for
you failed the class. You failed the class, and you failed the class.
Whatever.
Because y'all telling me it doesn't matter.
No, so you're telling me that when they have the Latino group, you're telling me they do or they do not separate the Latinos into the black Latinos, the browns, and the whites.
I am saying they did not in what you're reporting. No. If you found it, I would say that would be a better. I'm not saying I'm right, but what I am saying, I'm not even saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying any of that. I don't.
What I'm saying is,
before we start throwing every group, because we counting out specific ethnicities. We saying the Mexicans and the Panamanians and all these people. We don't know what that group did as a collective, as an aggregate. We don't know what they did. It's just like even the misinformation about black men. Black men vote, like, people are literally out here thinking black men voted in great numbers for Trump.
No, the number was 20%.
But no, what I am saying is, but you still have people viscerally thinking and saying that black men let them down.
Well, then they're not aware of the numbers.
Was it most of that 20% black men though?
What I am saying, go ahead, Queen. Let me hear the woman.
I'm saying, is it most of that 20% black men? So it's a valid statement.
No, it's not.
No. Most of the 20% may have been black men, but 20% is a small number.
It is a small number, but it still gave him. It still was votes for him.
80% of black people, men and women, voted for Kamala. Or for Kamala and third parties or whatever, however you want to say it.
So it's no real great difference, he's saying. So what I'm saying is this. No, that's not what happened, Queen. But okay, see, you gotta go in. See, I'm saying go back to stats 101. What I'm saying is we have to be able to break this down to granular levels. Now you could have. I'm just saying before you start throwing specific groups in there, I think that you probably will have to look at the numbers to make sure that you're accurate about that. You could be.
Well, why do we have to be so accurate about a number that's already been fleshed out?
Because you met. No. Okay.
I want to know why.
Okay. You want to listen this time? Are you going to breathe and let me talk?
I did. Go ahead and talk.
You said you didn't need the class. Now you want the class. Okay. The reason why you need to be specific is that if you are now saying, okay, black Brazilians, if you're mad at this group of black people, or this group of Latino people, right? Because they're Latin, come from Latin America or what have you, you're throwing them all in there, but you don't know how people from Brazil actually, Brazilian people in the United States actually voted. You don't know that. You do know that Latinos have voted, but you don't know it broken down by different ethnicities. All you know is this Latino category that puts all these people in one little lump, which is not a real good way of measuring different ethnic groups. You could have said the Cubans. and it could have been the white Cubans, the ones who are against a Castro type of Cuban folk, and different people that identify. I don't know who it is. I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm asking you who it is. But I'm saying is for us to really begin to call out ethnic groups within under the Latino umbrella, we need to understand and make sure that group specifically did do that.
I follow your statements. I agree with you that we should know the various breakdowns. Now, if the data isn't available, then I just got to assume a snake is a snake.
Well, no, you just say Latinos as whatever that is, and then we're throwing out specific groups, and the data might be available. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong. I'm just saying before we start out throwing out specific groups, we have to be clear about that. But two, all right, I'm in closing, brother perspective. Would you finish your closing? Let me let you jump back on your perspective. On your
I was just gonna say, like I said, cancel the hip hop clowns that did a sellout move. Mm-hmm. Really, what I was saying about the voters in the other communities, whether they were on our side or not, it's not a whole lot that we can say or do. The Klansman won, and the Klansman is gonna do what the Klansman said he was gonna do. There's not a lot to say about that. Because there's all this, people are losing their minds. Oh my God, he did this, and now he's doing this, and now he's doing. There's nothing anybody can do because they want it all. They control all branches of the government now. All we can do is just get ready and stay ready, stay ready. Get your ammunition, get your weapons. And be ready for the Klansmen to come walking down.
Because they have unchecked power.
So. Oh, I'm sorry. That one covered the whole screen. Let's look. We got shit. We got how we fix that one.
Playing with you. Look at this thing.
We gonna just read. We can't cover his face like
you
that.
You can't even see the brother. My
no. Oh God. How we fix that? Hold on. Oh my God, Cliff. Oh my God. Okay. Well, this is what we.
Keep it like that.
Okay. You don't need to see me. That's fine. Okay.
No, you just can't do nothing. Really, you can't really get around it.
All right.
I'm trying, but you can't.
Okay, so I'll just read it let people. Okay, I'll read it on the screen so people can read it. Follow with us. Okay, just keep y'all like that. I'd rather them see y'all. So, go back to the first one.
And you have. He has one before that.
No, go ahead, Queen. You want to read it?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out the one you want to see before this one.
I don't think so. I think he just started off with "and" as if he was saying something before. Okay, got it.
And you have the white Cuban descendants of those who had fled Cuba just before the revolution, like Marco Rubio. As for Panama, I met several Afro-Panamanians there in my 2 visits there, who were serious Garveyites and were either strongly opposed to Trump and his ilk, even though Spanish was their primary language. And I'm dumb, so I have not figured out how to see any comments other than mine in this feed. So I did see the link. Not that you need to hear me and run my mouth anyway.
God.
Cliff funny.
What's the word? Self-deprecating or something like that. Yeah. Look, they really good at it. They really good at it. That's how they beat you in debates. They come up self-deprecating and then they whip you up with some stuff. My man, look, Prop over there. He trying to get that information over there about the breakdown of Latino. He trying to find the categories. Look, you can't prove me wrong because I said I don't know. But go ahead, Clint, quick. Go ahead. You got it, Proper?
I found something. It's still not entirely.
Proper. Look,
conclusive.
Come back next week.
I got you.
And bring us the proper perspective. But before you go, I was going to ask you, do you got any gully jewels?
Do I got any gully jewels? Not in my mind right now. I have to get prepared for the gully jewels.
So that's his hip hop. What they call it? How did they call it?
My hip hop persona.
Okay. All right. So bring us some gully jewels next week.
I got you.
Bring us the old school and the new school, and then. All right. So in closing, I was going to say I forgot what I was going to say. I did have it. But one piece that I did forget, and I can't remember exactly what that was. But I will say this: I think it's important that we look at this thing in very nuanced ways because we have to. at the end of the day, I don't really, to me, whether or not Snoop Dogg or any of these leaders or whoever they are, whether or not they were performing for Trump, which I can understand clearly why people are upset, right? I can clearly understand why people are upset. Family, give us some likes, share this, family. Give us some likes. We didn't ask for any likes today. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. But what I will say is, the way that I see this from a Black conscious perspective, if they were going to perform for either one of these parties, they all sell out still. But nonetheless, so I
agree.
And I'm just keeping it real balanced. But I do understand why people are struggling with this thing because of what is going on. And I'm hoping that this ignites us politically.
But even personally too, personally, community,
Yeah, and to me, politically encompasses all of that.
Okay.
Right? So yeah. Because all that. All the leads. I always say that. All the leads, right?
Okay.
Psychologically, mentally, physically, spiritually, socially.
You got it.
You always mess the word economic up because you're like, I can't say economically. You can't say economically because that means that you're really thrifty and things. But see, it's economic. But anyway, but also I think that we have to really deal with this idea of culture. And I think that what is going on right now is that the white patriarch males, Trump and those good old boys, are tired of the white liberal female in their crew who let everything go without any boundaries. Now they like, look, we're gonna go clean this up, but we tend to lean to the left with let's say the liberal stuff. And I will argue that Black people don't have no time to be liberal. Black people, we need organization, we need structure, we need culture. We need some culture in our lives because if you look at what's going on, we too damn liberal. And what's killing us is our quote unquote liberties. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have liberties, but what I'm saying is y'all are liberal we are liberal in the wrong sense. We like shaking your booty on the stage is not revolutionary. And the fact that Kamala or Trump can bring any of these punks on any of these platforms let you know how they care and what they think about you.
Right.
Peace. Queen.
Well, guys, we're running out. We've been here for 2 hours. We appreciate everyone who's contributed. D. Cliff, Proper Perspective, on and off the screen. Nate, Stringer, the people who've come through tonight. We really appreciate that. Sister E, everyone who's in the chat. Listen, please like, share, subscribe. Black Box Radio. Going over to Dr. Dennis Ausar Winkler, and subscribe over there too. We're here every Thursday at 10 p.m. This is the first of 2025, but we're gonna come in hot every Thursday. So come in and see us, and please comment and leave us some comments so we can get in the algorithm. Go ahead, Doc.
Check us out Sunday on Black Box. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As we will be having the Temple of New African Thought Sunday ministry coming to you live and direct. We're going to continue this conversation around leaders in the time of Trump or something like that. We're going to be talking about leaders in the time of Trump. All right. So check us out. You know what I mean?
Sunday, what time, Doc?
1 p.m.
Sunday, 1 p.m. T-Nat will be, what's the name of your, I'm sorry, what's the name of your?
Go to our website, Temple of New African Thought.
Temple of New African Thought. It's coming on with the Sunday spirituality conversation. Am I correct?
Cultural, spiritual, social, physical, all the leaves. Peace and power.
Peace and power. Good night.
I'm telling you, when you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and proud. I'm telling you, when you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and proud. I'm telling you, become a part of it. Embrace it. 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 When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.